Sponsored in part by DollarSeed.com for your flowers, vegetables, and herbs. All organic seeds, all only $1 a pack.
Minority.com, authentic Haven brand, 100% natural soil condition for the home garden. Squareman Worm Farm, organic farm and gardening supply, located in Plymouth, Wisconsin. SquaremanWormFarm.com.
WillowSpringsSoap.com, handmade soap with simple, recognizable ingredients.
The Garden Stamp, stamp planting for more efficient, effective, and speedy planting. Welcome to Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. I'm Joy Baird. When it comes to constructing your cold frames, it can be made out of a variety of materials. We made this cold frame out of some 2x8s and some screen with some 4mm plastic. You can also make it out of straw bales. We've constructed and are constructing this cold frame out of straw bales, which you can find at your local home and garden center or on websites like Craigslist.org. Based on what region part of the country you live, they can be somewhat expensive, or if you know a farmer, most times you can get a good deal from them. Now you want to use straw, which is the byproduct of whenever they harvest the wheat, or you can use rice straw as well. I would recommend staying away from hay, which is what the cattle industry uses for actually nutritional value. And the reason being is because with hay there can be a lot of weed seeds that are incorporated in that. Weeds may not come up right now, but they will come up next spring, and then you're going to have even a bigger mess in your garden with a lot of introduced weed seeds. So let's see what we got going on here. So the way we've constructed this cold frame is out of square bales. Now, not all square bales are created equal. Based on the dimension and the diameter of them, you may have to tweak them and kind of put them together like Legos or a jigsaw puzzle to try to get them to all fit and seal off all the open edges. We've incorporated and brought in about another 4 inches of soil in this cold frame for a couple of reasons. One, because this cold frame measures about 16.8 square feet, which is wonderful, but that also opens up a lot of airspace in here that needs to be warmed. So what we've done is brought in more soil and made it very loose and thick, and that will help retain a lot more heat as well than just using the normal garden soil we would have in this place. Now with the cold frame we constructed at the large garden, we constructed that out of 2x8s. Now with 2x8s, that only gives you so much height to grow in. With straw bales, you're basically doubled it. You're about 16, 18 inches high based on the type of straw bale you get, which is going to open up a lot of different opportunities for us here at the small garden. Though we brought in 4 inches of extra soil to line the bottom, and we loosened up the garden soil that was here already, there should really be a lot more interesting items we can grow. We can get leeks in here, for example. We can get a lot of height on that. Though they may not be what you would normally grow in a big garden, we can get some what they call baby leeks, I guess would be the term that would be used in here. So what we have here is we constructed the top out of the other cold frame that we have out of the window screens. Now we made it just like this, and we got 4mm plastic on it. Due to the height and the size and all that we got going on here, we had to be a little more creative, and you can spend as much money as you want to or as little as you want to on a project of this size. Now, we had an old window in the barn, and that'll be this side. This will be one portion of the cold frame. Now the sun is going to be behind me most of the time. It's going to come up and kind of be behind me because of the way the earth is tilted here in the northern hemisphere. So I put the actual glass on the side that's going to get the most sunlight to bring more heat inside there during the really, really cold days. Now, on the warm days, we're going to have to vent this, and we'll talk more about that momentarily. The center one is just the same old window screen that we had at the large garden, and that video is in the show notes below on how to attach it as we did there. Now, for all of those individuals who are watching who have loved ones that keep saying, why don't you throw that particular piece of item away, direct them to this video. We collected these a couple years ago when we had some junk lamps. These are the base of floor lamps, and I kept them in the shed, and different people would ask, what are you going to do with them? And I would say, we'll just hold on to them and we'll figure out something. Well, we figured out something. These make great weights for on top of our cold frames. Now, obviously, I know not all of you have a half dozen floor lamp bases, but you can use rocks, you can use bricks, you can use heavy boards, whatever you have available, even sandbags would work well, but you just don't want to cover up the portion that the light's going to go through. So on this one down here, we've got this one made with 4 mil plastic. Now you can go 4 or 6, it's whatever you decide to do with the research that you've chosen to look at. We went with 4 mil because it was a little more of an affordable investment than the 6 mil was. These work great. Based on the type of plastic you get, they come in different sizes. Some are 10 by 25, this was 3 by 50. You want to look at what project you're going to make. We went with a 3 by 50 by accident because it was cheaper, which in the long run was very beneficial because we didn't have to cut these down. Everything that we're working with was in 3-foot width increments, so we just had to cut the length and put it down. Alright, so we got the last screen here. Now I understand that not everybody has access to a wood mill or a table saw to cut these thin slats here that we use to attach the plastic to the frame. So I came up with another ideal that's something that most of us, if not all of us at least, have or can have access to. So one thing that we all, or at least most of us, will have access to is window blinds. Now whether you take these off the window that you have them on, or you have broken ones, or you find them, we're going to use this to attach our plastic to our cold frame top. Now you could just go in here and staple it, as I've mentioned before in the program. The only disadvantage to that would be if you have staples and the wing catches, it could rip your plastic off and then your cold frame is realistically cold. So you want to have something like we have over here with our wood slats to where it holds the plastic down so the wing can't get and rip it off. So we're going to take our window blinds, we're going to square our plastic up here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 nails. I've doubled it up, the window blind, and I've put them curved side down. Reason being, if I put it curved side up, I have a limited amount of surface area, so I want to put them curved side down. And I'm going to take, and you can take a drill to puncture holes in this, or you can take just a regular kitchen knife or pocket knife, and I just want to make a little hole here for my nail because I don't want the plastic to crack from nailing. Make sure we're all squared up, and go. We're going to put 3 nails in this, and then we'll go all the way around and get it all done, and then we'll come back and with some more information. You need to know how to build your own straw bale cold frame that's going to make your job a whole lot easier than what it was for us. Okay. Alright, so we got our frame almost all constructed. I got a little bit more to put here. Nice thing with the window blinds, easy to cut, really adds them, makes it look a little classier than the wood slats does. So I'm just going to double this up right here, add a couple of nails, and then we'll get it on the cold frame. Based on the type of nails you're using, you may not have to puncture holes in it. The larger nails you're going to have to. These really tiny finishing nails that we had to use because we ran out of the other ones seem to work very well. Alright, so we've got that all constructed, put together. It really does have a nice little look to it. Alright. So that's the basic of the top of the cold frame to keep the heat in. Now there are a couple of things you want to address here. There is a potential, oh, I accidentally did it right. You will have, since we're using multiple different tops here, you're going to have gappage, which it doesn't appear to be too bad because I overlapped the plastic here, so that's not too bad. Now if you do have that issue, you can always run some duct tape down there or some kind of tape, or you can actually run plastic. But since this is the advantage to having multiple sections on this top here, I don't have to take it all off. If I just want to get and harvest something, I can just crack it, harvest it, and you want to harvest this during the warmest portion of the day when the sun's at the highest, so it has plenty of time to warm back up. Also, going horizontal like this instead of vertical allowed us a couple of advantages, and this is all based on the size of your cold frame. If we would have turned these and went long ways with them, because of the way the bales are constructed, there was a lot of holes and gaps that the air would have been able to come out of. So we turned them long ways here, and it seals them off really nice. Now if you do have a gap, for example here, so you want to just pack it with some straw because you're going to hold for holding the heat in. Now you're not going to come out here every day after you plant it and, hey plants, how you doing? Because you're going to let the heat out. The key to a cold frame is to keep the heat in. you're going to check on this periodically, maybe once or twice every couple of weeks. The advantage, at least with us, we have the glass down there where we can look in to see the plants. When you look in the plants, when you check on the plants, if they do need water, for instance, or you're harvesting, you want to check on them during the warmest portion of the day when the sun's at the highest, so then you can close it back up and it can retain some heat so it can withstand the night temperature. But you want to keep it closed up. And also, when constructing your cold frame out of straw bales, the straw bales come with a cut side and a smooth side. That's just how they're made in the baler. You want to put the cut side down and the smooth side on top here. That's going to allow the smooth side has a lot more puffiness to it, and it will close in a lot more gaps in the cut side. Now, when constructing this, you're going to have to do some landscaping to get all your bales level with each other, so again, your top can set flush. Regardless if you have one piece or multiple pieces like we do, you want to get it as flush as possible to limit the amount of gaps. So let's go ahead and get the cold frame planted. Alright, so we've got 16.8 square feet in this particular cold frame. So we're going to plant a variety of different things. We're going to plant some lettuce, some leeks, some spinach, some radishes, some cabbage pak choi, some chives, and some other things here. And we probably won't finish it all today. We're going to get some of it started, and then we'll kind of debate a little bit more. I do want to get some of it started. You'll see in here the black jugs. Now, we did this with our under $5 cold frame, which that'll be in the show notes as well. The purpose of the black jugs, it's juice jugs, water jugs, vinegar. You fill them full of water. They retain heat during the day, and then at night they'll release some of that heat and keep this cold frame just a little bit warmer. And even though it may be a degree or two, at some point that can make a tremendous difference. So we're going to take our garden stamp, and we'll just start in this back corner. I'll do radishes, I'll do spinach, I'll do lettuce, and we'll go from there. So it's pretty much that easy to make a cold frame, and this was zero expense because of what we had found. We did buy the 4mm plastic, but the straw bales were free. This window was free and the screens are free, so it's a pretty easy project if you want to try to grow more stuff outdoors over the winter months. If you're looking for a cold hardy plant to grow in your garden, leeks may be that vegetable. It's not as popular as tomatoes or peppers, but it can withstand temperatures as low as 5 degrees. Most gardeners will leave them in the ground over winter and harvest them as needed. If you're in the south, it's a great crop to grow all winter long. They can take between 70 and 150 days based on the variety that you choose, and there's a lot of varieties out there. These are American flag leeks. They are an heirloom variety, and they take about 130-ish days or whatever. Now, you can harvest leeks at any period during the growing season, but it's best to wait until they're at least 1 inch in diameter. 2 inches if you're fortunate enough to get them to grow that well. These we started from seed back way in February, March. The key and the element that you're going to eat on the leeks is not the top portion, it's the white bleachy root of it. And you want to be, whenever you harvest them, you want to bring them in and clean them off very well, because there's a lot of dirt that can get down in them. So if you've never grown leeks, it's a vegetable that you might want to consider. It's great for stews, soups, and stir fries. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe and comment. We'll see you again next time for more organic gardening and food preserving. I'm Joy Barrett, and this has been a Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. For more organic gardening and food preserving, visit the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.